With that being said, guys, I'm a nerd. I like to do things via process, so let's roll through the process. First things first, again, why I started the Roofing Success Series, and this is what you guys will get out of it, right? The reason I started this is because I noticed an overwhelming trend in the roofing industry. I would have people reach out to me and say, "Hey, George, I need more leads." And every roofing company tends to think, "Hey, I need more leads, I need more leads, I need more leads." But that's not going to solve every problem in your business. And a lot of people aren't ready for more leads. More leads are just going to dry up your business or exacerbate the problems that already exist. And so I know a majority of marketing companies out there, lead vendors, are happy to push leads down your throat. That's not really the business that I operate. And so my goal with the series is to provide you guys with every resource you need from leads and beyond to operate not only a large business, but an effective and most importantly, profitable organization. And I am by no means an expert roofing company owner, so that's why I bring on smart people like Elijah, so that I can pretend I'm smart. So I appreciate you helping me do that, Elijah.
First
Now,
person to call me smart.
well, I think you're very smart. I listened to your little live today, and I was taking notes. Might have to start George's roofing company out here. But housekeeping, guys. I know we're all busy, right? We're business owners. We have a lot going on in our day to day. We have our team. We're probably fielding customer calls, emails, etc., dealing with all the little fires that occur as a business owner. Today, I'm going to challenge you guys to do something a bit different, and I challenge everybody here every week to do this because I take the time to carefully research and vet the people that I bring on here. I only want to bring on people that I believe can provide true value and condense that into an hour, which is very hard to do. But because I take the time to carefully vet each of these people, my goal is to make sure this is the most value-packed hour of your week. And so I'm going to challenge you to do a few things, right? Close out any other tabs you have open. Stop scrolling through Facebook for 5 seconds. I promise it'll be there once this is over, unless Facebook goes down, but it probably won't. And throw your phone in a drawer and pull out a notepad and just start taking notes. There's going to be an open QA format for this specific session. I believe Elijah has a lot of kind of knowledge and wisdom he could share with you from him being able to grow and scale his roofing business fairly quickly. And so take notes there, ask questions in the chat, and we're going to be switching up the format slightly. So instead of doing a QA at the end, feel free to drop your questions in the chat as we go along because we want to have this be kind of a collaborative session. If you want to hop on camera to ask your question, just make a note of that. When you ask the question, we'll bring you in. You can ask it. If you just want us to answer it, just drop the question and we'll answer it. Now, with that being said, make sure we have all that thrown away, notepads out, ready to take some notes, learn something new, and build a better business. So, what I'm going to do is, looks like we got a lot of hand raises, guys. If you have questions, just throw them in the chat. But we're going to dive deep into some really cool unfiltered growth hacks. This isn't, hey, go run Facebook ads and you're going to be a millionaire. These are some really cool strategies, Eliza, especially the one you were talking about earlier, that most people don't even think about. I've never heard of the strategy you were talking about today, and I know a lot of people are typically scared to execute any strategy like that because they're afraid of competition. So super excited for you to get in the trenches there. And what's cool about Elijah, guys, hopefully I don't over compliment Elijah. I apologize if I do, but I think you're an awesome dude. But what's cool about Elijah, guys, is he's not somebody who's trying to sell you a course or anything like that. He's somebody who's in the trenches and has, I think it was increased your revenue by 7 million. It's 2, 3 years in a row now, right? Each year.
Yes, we have a collaborative of partners, so I am only one of 6 owners, but we do share similar mindsets and strategies. And yes, so when we started it, it was 7.5 million. 2 years ago, or your last year, it was 14.5 million. And now, we're on pace for a really big year too. I don't want to jinx myself and speak it into existence, but it's going to be pretty large year as well. And yeah, it's been steady growth and building a culture. It's been awesome.
Yeah, man. And the culture you build, even on the lives you do, you can just kind of see it emanate through everybody in your organization. So I know a lot of people are excited to see what you have to share. A lot of people saw, hey, there's this guy running this big roofing business. How is he doing this? And I know one of the big things you mentioned is you're not doing it by yourself,
Yeah,
which is
100%.
awesome. But yeah, man. Anything else you want to say about yourself before we dive in?
Man, no, I'm just excited. I'm part of the Roof Camp. It's like a movement made with Jay Bradley and Reggie Brock and them, and it's basically educating young up and coming sales reps. I have a lot of young up and coming sales reps on my sales team here at Romans as well. And that's kind of like what this is, man. Like you alluded to, I'm not getting paid to do this. I'm on here. I take the time out because it's important to me that we mold the new faces of the roofing industry the correct way, because some of these dinosaurs, it's time, it's time for a new face. Let's get these guys in shape. Let's let them know like really what's in front of them, how fun this industry truly can be.
Yeah. I think that's going to be huge, right? Getting that out of the way, getting the competition out of the way too. I think there's enough for everybody, at least the good players, right? And like you always say, making sure that the homeowners are taken care of, whether that's with you or somebody else, that you know will do them well. So, with that being said, got some tactical questions that I would definitely want to dig into, and then I would do want to maybe save your awesome strategy till the end if you're cool with that.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Cool, man. So I know you made some massive leaps and gains. I know you said first year you were at 7.5 million. Every year after that, you've added about 7 million. So year after that, about 14. Year after that, 20, and then this year, $100 trillion, I assume. So with that being said, a lot of roofing companies, there's some bottlenecks that I'll typically see, but I mean, you grew fast, so that's huge, right? I see a lot of people don't grow that much, and it'll completely tank their business. So I guess this is a twofold question. One is while you were going through that growth and scale phase, what was your single biggest bottleneck to go through and pass that $10 million mark, that $15 million mark, et cetera, and not just completely destroy your business by doing that?
So what makes it fun, I believe, is there's another to it that we didn't get to discuss. So I've been battling between 10 and $15 million for probably 5 consecutive years with sales teams, in all different ways and forms. It's been very hard to go that next level and to exceed that amount, and that's what we're working toward right now. So full disclosure, that 7.5 million that we did year one, to put that in perspective, we actually left the company 5 months into the year. So truthfully, that 7.5 million came from June until the end of the year. So we probably would have done more year one, had we had more time in the spot we were in. But our guys are hustlers. You know, when you make it like that and you're starting off from scratch in the middle of a year, that's tough. So of course they like went out and got after it. But we have collaborative ways of processes, and I think the biggest hurdle that we encountered along that way was, man, how do we make this fair? And I believe that that's a question that's not really being asked by a lot of companies when they start up. Everybody has a game plan on how to turn a profit. Everybody has a game plan for the most part on what their bottom dollar is. They have accountants. Everybody's got that idea. But then they forget about the sales reps. They forget about the estimators, the supplementers. You forget about the forget about the some companies don't even have that. Some companies have cradle to the grave with the guys, and that's even worse because that those people aren't even in their process because they think that sales is so easy that anyone can do it. Well, there's a reason why not anyone can scale to 10, 15, $20 million, $30 million. And it's because they don't have the right leadership and they don't care about the people that are underneath them that are actually providing the work to them. So our biggest hurdle was how can we make this fair for a sales rep and for us? And most importantly, and we've said it a million times on our videos, I've spoken into existence almost. Um, we want to be a destination spot for sales reps. We want sales reps to want to work for us. We want them to come here. So how do you do that? And we all had an idea. We're like, hey man, we need to invest in their future. We need to invest in personal growth. We need to invest. One of the largest gaps in this industry, as we all know, and Deshaun Bryan has told millions of times, it is the training. The training is industry, and we thought we were providing good training. Full disclosure, we're not even providing good training. There's a huge curb there, and what happens is a lot of these owners who were thrown into the fires to perform, they come back with that same mindset, and then they don't even know subliminally that they're doing that to their reps. They know how bad that was and how hard that was for us to grow. Yeah, it made us stronger. But shouldn't we take those experiences now and flip it around and say, hey, man, what if the company that you started at would have done this for you? Would you not have been able to do more? Would you not have been able to put the pieces together far sooner than the 5, 6 years it took you to do that? Kudos to your hustle. Super, super thankful to be in the position I'm in right now. But this could have been done potentially years earlier had somebody sat me down and said, hey, Elijah, I see a lot in you. Why don't you try it this way? Let me show you some of the things that I've noticed. You know, I'm watching your analytics and I see that you have there's a gap here. Let me teach this. Let me take you under my wing and let me show you. I didn't learn that way. Most of us didn't. I learned by watching Becca Switzer. I learned by watching Deshaun film on his iPhone in 2017. I learned by YouTube. You know, I had people that I worked with, but I came in this with the mindset early on that I thought this was sales. I got to step on everybody's neck. And I think a lot of people come into that. So I think the biggest hurdle was letting people know that, hey, man, we genuinely, truly do care about you. And more important than us telling you that, we're going to show you that. So how do we do that? We had to come up with a process. It took 2 years to come up with a process to where we're at right now, and we're still daily fine tweaking it. Still not there, but process and making it fair for both and sales rep and homeowner involved in this process to make sure everybody walks away with a win-win-win scenario. How does that happen? And it's a lot of work.
Yeah. And I think that brings up a question, which is like, how do you make that fair, right? That's a careful balance to homeowner, sales rep, and company owner so that everybody can walk away at the end of the day with a good feeling.
You're not going to like the answer, and a lot of people on the call won't like the answer, but the truth is transparency. You need to be open and honest with customers. Yes, you are making a dollar. Yes, you are making a good living by doing roofs. Yes, you are storm chasing. Yes, you plan to inconvenience them and knock on their doors throughout the day. Yes, this is a business that needs to turn a profit. Then you got to be real with the sales reps. Yes, you are the reason that I have jobs to work on. Yes, this is why I feel you should be getting paid this amount because this is what it costs to us. Then you need to open your books. I have worked for companies, and I'm telling you right now, if you think your sales rep trusts you and you don't have full access for them to see what the cost of everything is, they do not trust you. In our CRM, you can go look. We have pay our when our emails come out for pay and commissions, they're all on one sheet. Why are they on one sheet? It's not to drive competition. It's to be open. It's to be honest. It's to let them know, hey man, I know you're struggling or you may be going through this, but like believe me, people are getting paid. Why don't you go work with that person? You see how much, you see what he's doing. Why don't you go work with him stuff? We also do that so they understand that we're not just sitting in here using Romans Roofing as a personal piggy bank. Money is being invested into marketing, money is being invested into vehicles. I have 401k with a 3% match. We got salaries, health, dental, vision. I believe in investing in my guys, and my big stretch goal is to have someone retire with me. You want to come work with me and retire with your family with me at an earlier age than the ridiculous 65 or 70 that they're telling everybody now to retire at. Social Security's gone, guys, so you need to double down and invest in your people. The kids that are behind us will never see Social Security. We know that. So what are we doing to help them? What are we doing to say, hey, man, I really do care about your future? You could tell me, until I'm blue in the face that I only care about the money, but then why am I doubling down on my investments in you? Why am I working so hard and so tirelessly to make sure that you understand that you're at a company that truly does care about you? And then that's what you have to do. You have to just be open and honest with everybody involved, man. Yes, we're turning a profit, but here's why it can benefit you. And yes, I need to make a living, but I'm also helping. And let me explain that to you. Once we start explaining everything to the homeowners, to the business owners, to any clientele you have, or to the sales reps in full transparency, what'll happen then is everybody's educated and hip to what's going on. And then guess what? Now it all comes down to, are you a good contractor or are you a bad contractor? And the reason that most of the roofing industry does not want it to go to that conversation is because we're not all good. The ones who are bad, they don't want that. They don't want that conversation to happen. They want to hide money. They want to pretend that they're doing the best answer in the world is, oh, I do this because I want to help people. No, your ass doesn't. You do this because you want to cash out just like everybody else. Be honest about it. But then really help. When you stop caring about money and you start caring about the people underneath you and the development of the business, how much more money you make. It's amazing. It's amazing.
So it's kind of open, honest, transparent with what's happening within the
With
business.
everything though, it
Any,
doesn't
yeah,
stop
anybody in
at
the
just the
organization.
yeah commissions. It doesn't stop like what do you if you're subbing out work, you paying your subs. What is your material cost? All that stuff. Like it's let it all out there. Let them see everything. Why are we hiding anything? We're in this together. Are you not in this together? Because that's the thing. If you can't trust the people you work with, then why are you working with them? You want them to trust you
Yeah.
blindly? Like, come on, guys. This is common sense. Be open about it. Be transparent. Hey, man, this is what I'm making. But you could be at this level too if you grow within the company. I want to get you to that level too. What can I do to make you better? Because there is no scenario where helping a sales rep or helping anybody around you make more money is it ever going to cost you money as an owner. No scenario. You get them the biggest payday they've ever had in their life, and guess what? You make the most money you ever made in your life too. They work hand in hand together. That's it.
Right. So that transparency breeds trust, but it also breeds, I think, people being able to have belief, it sounds like, too, in themselves. Like, hey, somebody else is doing this, right? I
Yeah.
may be struggling right now, but if I stick to the process, which is something hard to do, right? Keep people to the process.
We fight, we argue, We battle everybody else does on a day in and day out basis. There are people that we ruffle feathers, but every single time, the majority of us across the board at Romans is quick to pull the guy aside and say, hey, man, that was wrong. This is why we did that. Myself included. I'll fly off the handle on people. You got to reel it back in. I like to think that most of our sales reps know that we love them. Most of them know that. Some may not because they're new here, they don't grasp it, but I want people here for 5 and 10 and 15 years. I do not want to lose reps to this 2 to 3 year turnover rate that somehow, some way, shape, or form we've all just grown to accept. Like, where'd the accountability go? Why is the rate 2 to 3 years for a rep? Why don't we ask ourselves that? Why do we just say, oh, yep, you know how it goes. It's 2 to 3 years. They'll be gone. Well, why? Why? Why do they have to 2 to 3? You plan to close your doors? No. Oh, you're staying in business? Oh, so then why would they go? Why would they go? That just doesn't make any sense to me. So I don't even acknowledge that 2 to 3 year thing. No, no, I want lifers. I want you to come to Romans and stay with me for life.
And you do that through transparency and process is what it sounds like, right? Actually
Yeah,
investing into the
being
process, make sure
firm,
it's
but
something they
also
can
loving
succeed
them
with.
too. Yes, yeah, and you gotta be on up with them too. That life is it is, man. It's gonna throw obstacles at all of us. There's no reason for us to be upset out there and then come to work upset as well. That's stupid. I want to have a safe place here. I want people to understand when you come to work, man, you need to get your work done. But I'm never gonna add turmoil to your life if I don't have to. That just doesn't make sense. I like having fun. I think the biggest missed opportunity in recruiting for our industry is the fun. Everybody wants to showcase money. Money isn't the end all be all for everybody. It's not for me. I'm telling you it openly. It's not. It's fun. I could make $1 million a year. If I'm not having fun, I will not be there very long. I need to enjoy my life. I need to be happy.
I feel like that's the opposite of like the grind set you'll see in a lot of these kind of aggressive organizations that are growing and scaling, which is surprising to hear from somebody who's grown and scale the way you have. You know, a lot of
Well, I
it's
like
like
both.
grind,
I
no
mean,
fun, head down. Well, I know you probably need it,
I don't want
right?
to be broke, yeah, but I
But
want to have fun though. Like we be
yeah,
fun and moderately rich as opposed to being super rich and hated by everybody, you know?
yeah.
Find a happy medium.
I I got two questions I got to ask, or I want to ask. I'm gonna ask this one. So process, you mentioned process. I know a lot of companies that I speak to, there's not really a super defined process, especially when it comes to sales. Like you said, it's just sending them out in the field, wishing them good luck, right? Here's some leads or go knock some doors. If you're a company at that level, because I have a feeling a lot of people on this call may be, and I see some people on this call that I know for a fact are not, but are still looking to further processize, what would be kind of your first steps to do that, right? To processize um, selling systems and be able to train people on that.
I think it starts. I think it starts by there's a saying that a real leader is in the field with their soldiers. A real general is out there. He would never give an order for something he can't do himself. Same holds true to this. If you are an organization and you have somebody from the outside of the organization that has never done sales or door to door before in their lives. And then they want to come in and teach a door to door system, then you already made a mistake. Understand that now. And sales reps, true veteran sales reps, are going to sniff that out. They're going to question you, and people need to understand that too. Their sales reps are like children, man. You got to mold them. You got to get them in, and you got to teach them. Not that their kids are like that. We're superior to them. What I'm saying though is, you can't ask them to do something once and then walk away from it. You can't ask them to understand everything. And they're what I with daily, and I'll openly talk about that now, is that you can't expect them to have the same passion for your company as you do. And that's a hard thing to come to reality with. But what you can do is say, hey man, I've done this. And this process that you're about to enter into, I think that there's ways that we could collaboratively work together. And that's what we've done here. So I would say you'd start by mapping out the process. How do you define door knocking and what does it look like from the beginning to the end? Write it all down. Then you need to write down the worst case scenario and then write down the best case scenario. Like this is your perfect, you knocked it, you were in and out 45 minutes, you documented it all, it got bought off your photos, you didn't even go to adjustment. Put out your perfect scenario. Now, how do we get to the perfect scenario? And along the way, what you'll find out is where you need to make the tweaks and you'll see the bridge gaps, but it's mapping the system out. Why do you do the worst case scenario? Because you need to have backup plans ready for what could go wrong. What's the worst thing that could happen? Because the last thing you want to do is paint this is how you do it perfectly. And then you throw a sales rep out there and then guess what? life happens and it didn't go perfectly, but now they're lost. They have no idea what they're doing, and then they become scared. Now, when a sales rep becomes scared, they leave. They look for work. They got to find something else. This wasn't for them. They're gone. I've recently talked about it on another podcast, but I have lost many sales reps over the last 5 years trying to work with them, and being a stubborn idiot myself, I lost, and I take accountability. More than half of them were the cause of myself and the way that I managed them. But then there's another reality to it, that I let like 75% of them go, and I know they could have done sales. I know you could have done sales, but somewhere along the line, I failed to deliver on what I was supposed to do. And I didn't roll out a realistic process for you, and I didn't give you an understanding of what could happen if something doesn't work in your favor. And those are the things that you need to work on. So map a process out, figure out the best case, figure out the worst case, and then figure out a way to limit both of those from happening. Just figure out a way to make this efficient and where everybody could do it. But again, you got to have somebody who's familiar with this. You can't have somebody who never knocked doors. We see a lot of that with the PE things that's going on right now. You got a lot of business people that want to come in and tell you how to run a business because they know how to run a Fortune 500 company. Sorry, but this ain't it, baby. Roofing is not it. This is an industry that, excuse my language, but it turns over millionaires, takes idiots and makes them millionaires. So like smart people at suits and stuff like that ain't gonna work out really well for you if you've never done this before. You got to roll your sleeves up and you got to get in there and do this. Also, you can't take advice from someone who hasn't done this in 20 years. Door knocking has drastically changed. I brought this up on your podcast. I have seen people give door knocking advice, and I won't mention names right now, but they haven't knocked a door since the Bush administration. Do not come to me and tell me how to knock doors. That world is so different. Everything has changed because homeowners are to what's going on. The internet access and the amount of content that they consume on a daily basis from the carriers, believe me, you're a scumbag to them. It's on us to change that image. But for right now, we're scumbags. You have to accept that. So you need to be professional when you're doing this and map.
Okay. And so we're looking at the best case scenario, obviously, like this path, and then we're also trying to map for edge cases because those things can happen. We
Yeah,
want those
they
sales reps
will.
to be prepared so they don't look like a deer in headlights when it does happen, because it will.
Hmm. Yeah,
So, okay, awesome. And I think that's something a lot of people miss, like taking that time to sit down and actually write out the process, like pen and
yeah.
paper.
And you're gonna get
It's
it wrong. We
yeah,
we failed so many times. I lost really good reps. I lost some reps that are working for other companies right now, balling out. It's trial and error, but you can't be scared to make mistakes. You got to learn.
yeah. And you were able to then get above that by continuing to optimize the process, being transparent so that people actually trust what you say within your
100%.
organization and without. And I think that's key, right? I think a lot of the storm chasing needs to go, in my opinion. I don't think work with people when they tell me they chase storms because it's just not to be productive for the homeowner when you're 200 miles away and they
Yeah,
have a problem with
and
their
it,
roof.
it really depends on your approach with it as well. So
Yeah,
storm chasing, that's the thing though. A lot of homeowners don't even know what that definition is. We understand what storm chasing is, but some of these guys, they don't get it. Some homeowners out here, they think because you're calling or knocking on their door after a storm, that makes you a storm chaser. In a way, it does, but the definition of storm chasers, the fly by night companies that come in, do a bunch of work fast, get in and get out, and then again, that to me that's storm chasing. So like
yep,
again, the roofing industry really needs to wake up and understand that, guys, this is on us to change that image. It's on us to change the narrative that's already being printed out. The reason that the carriers and stuff are so effective in what they're doing is because they spend millions of dollars to educate their consumers on how we're bad people. And we spend millions of dollars asking homeowners for business because we don't care what our image is. That's just the reality of it. But, the further once we accept that, then now we're making strides to go in the right direction. But as long as we pretend that no, we're good, they're not about us. Well, they're gonna keep being, it's the same vicious cycle that we're in right now.
yeah. Trying to fight that propaganda basically that they're pushing out that, hey, roofers
Yeah,
are gonna rip you
yeah.
off, right? You
We
don't
could
need
be
a roof
we could be
replaced.
standing united putting our owns out, but yeah, and, it is what it is.
And that's something I want to get to here in a second. The one
Oh
thing you
yeah,
had mentioned though was we talked about this on our previous call too. You were talking about door to door, right? Conversations over doors, right? And a
yes.
lot of people focus 100 doors at a time. Do you mind telling people a little bit about your focus instead of doors, what that looks like, and why you have your team focus on
Yeah,
conversations as
so
opposed to that?
So when I mentioned earlier that I watched people in the beginning, so I've been following Deshaun Bryant with Roof Hustlers. Everybody here should do. When I was started following him back in 2017, he was the first person that really opened my eyes to that idea to begin with. I was banging down doors and he really it made sense. It resonated. That's a smart approach. So instead of counting the doors that you're knocking, you should be counting the conversations that you're having, because the truth is that that's what we're ultimately chasing in content or marketing. You want people's attention. So the ones mowing the lawn, pulling up with the groceries in the house, I don't want to mess with them before they get in and put their groceries down. Nah, man, you need to get on that conversation immediately. Everybody is a conversation. Gas stations, walking down the street, you're knocking in a neighborhood, the mail lady comes by. When's the last time you gave a mail lady your business card or a stack of them and said, hey, if you see something wrong on some homeowner's house, or you happen to see some wind damage or something, just leave my card if you don't mind. Like, leave it. They might say no, but they might say yeah. They might say yeah. They might be a homeowner in the neighborhood needs help. You don't know. And Deshaun brought up a good point too. Like, people have signed commercial properties off of knocking doors that didn't visibly look damaged, because if you care about helping all the homeowners, then you should be helping all the homeowners. But there are people that know people. So just because that property, isn't in shambles, doesn't mean that there's not an opportunity somewhere else. And so one of the things that I'll give a shout out to my guy Ralph that he's doing here at Romans is he brought up the fact that he used the tactic of, when a homeowner tells you, hey man, I'm not interested, blah blah blah. Well, okay, but before you leave, why don't you hit them with the, okay, well, you may not be, but I noticed that your neighbor had some damage on the side there. Is it possible you could plug me into them? I'd like to help them out. More times than not, if a homeowner knows them and they're cool and you're cool, they'll plug you in. So you could be signing a neighbor off of a door that you knocked for somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, the opportunities are endless, but once you start chasing, you'll find yourself having more success than just counting doors down. Also, as sales reps, I know how it goes. I'm a big dude too. Knocking in 80 degrees, that's for the birds, bro. All of us hate that. AC is the best invention in the world, in my opinion. So you're going to be out there cooking and melting. You got my big ass climbing on roofs. I'm trying to have conversations. I'm not trying to pin doors all day. So, like, let me go out here. These guys said I need 4 signs. Let me go out get my 4 so I can get back into AC. That's my mindset. So, like, if you're chasing doors, you're going to find yourself just pinning. Oh, I pinned 150. I pinned 150. Yeah. And then I need to draw in the wintertime. Nah, man. You pinned 150. Go chase your conversations. Stop pinning doors and start focusing on talking to people while you're doing it, and then watch what happens. Both numbers go up, income goes up, everything goes up. Like, you just have a better day. Plus, if you strike out but you had 20 good conversations, that's a good day at work. That's a good day. You enjoyed the sunlight, you got some laughs, you pet somebody's dog, you had a great day. Like, that's a win. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how we need to start viewing this, instead of like, oh, it's treacherous, man. I went out there and I hit $150. Nobody's home. This area sucks. This is a bum area. No, dude. Just, it's perspective. It's all perspective. But yes, conversations, you'll find yourself in a better spot than you if you just chase doors. Both are important. It's a numbers game. We know that. Even the greatest salespeople in the world, you're still banging down doors to get to your yes. So, you got to overcome all those no's. But regardless, this is, it's a numbers game. But you still chase conversations, because inevitably, that's all either of us wants. We want a conversation.
Yeah. I think that kind of like loops back to your transparency thing. It sounds like having the hard conversations, doing the hard things, kind of what you focus on. And that KPI of conversations is going to be the thing that's harder than the path of least resistance, which is knock a door real quick and run away before they answer,
Yeah,
right? Because
and
that's still
yeah,
a knocked door.
most
But
homeowners have their guard up. You have a conversation with them, maybe they lower it and they say, "Oh man, you know what? This guy's not so bad. Why don't you go ahead and
yeah,
hop up there and take a look at it?" They want to gauge who you are.
yeah. And then with that KPI, it's something that's actually going to drive further down the line where doors, again, as people, we can take that path of least resistance. Most people will. And then you're still hitting KPI technically, but that's not driving to the result that Elijah wants, right, as the owner.
Yeah. And we're
So,
we're blessed to be in a good spot that I have a great team. These guys are awesome at the door, and more importantly, they embrace helping people. So all of our guys, they all work together, and I love that, because collaboration is big, especially for me. So like what they're doing and how they work together is awesome. I got nothing bad to say about my team as far as door knocking goes. Wow, the back end, but door knocking, I think they're good.
fair enough. And you had mentioned kind of in the beginning, right, attracting people to you, right? Salespeople, et cetera. It sounds like you built a good team now, right? And so I imagine your transparency plays into it, but people who are outside of the organization probably wouldn't see that. So how do you attract good sales talent to yourself?
The number one way is just through word of mouth with your sales reps. You treat people good, they're going to want to brag about it. They're going to want to talk about it. Content plays a huge factor, in my opinion. I think content's more important than a lot of other people do. Content will drive people to want to work with you. Seeing people, laughing and having fun, that's contagious. People want to be part of that. I have buddies that work in the steel mill that tell me all the time that they hate their life because at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I might be having, lunch somewhere, or I'm out like a hot dog stand. We're doing a free veteran roof, or maybe I'm doing like a picnic, or I'm at some event like a casino and we're showcasing at some homeowners event, or whatever the case may be. I'm filming a podcast, and they're sitting there melting in 90-degree heat, messing with steel bars, and they're like, "Dude, it sucks." Like they hate it, and they're like, "Yeah, but like." That's what the idea and the message behind the should be, is to let everybody know, like, oh, dude, those guys are making money and they're having fun. Like, what? Let me go talk to them. Let me go see what's going on over there. Because most of the greatest sales reps in the world are not sales reps for roofing. None of us set out to be roofers. We know that. Most of the really good people here were doing something outside of this industry before they got looped into this. We got dragged into it because we were good talkers. We got dragged into it because we were good bullshitters. We got dragged into it because we were just fun to be around. And then it ended up taking it to a new level once we realized the carrot that's dangled off in front of us. Because a lot of us, you'll find in the roofing industry, grew up in poverty. So when someone tells you, hey, man, you got hustle, I can make you six figures. All you got to do is knock doors. I'm going to knock more doors than you've ever knocked in your entire life if you're telling me I can make 100 grand. That was my thought process in it. So I try to appeal to those people. And then a lot of it too, like I said, is just being open and transparent. Anybody can make anybody fall in love with this job. You just can. You could take somebody, like I said, from $27,000 at Target to $100,000 the next year by knocking doors, and literally in 1 year change your entire life. So that's an easy sell. I think what we're starting to realize is that you need to go over the heart-wrenching stuff with them too. And then that's how you get better sales reps. So full disclosure, we're still doing a giant learning curve on recruiting. One. And we had some really, really good success early on this year, and then we didn't have so much success later on. And we did some things differently. And we're finding out that it's necessary to have two interviews. It's necessary to have the first interview just be about that person. Can I work with you for 8 hours? Do you understand like what we're doing here? This is our mission statement. This is our purpose. What's your goals? What are you about this? And taking notes, genuinely listening to them, and then coming back and letting the department heads then interview them. And one person is doom and gloom and the other one is rainbows and sunshine. And really get a gauge for like, is this person going to be capable of doing what we're asking them to do? And do they fully understand it? And then, dive into them a little bit deeper to make sure that they have a why. You don't want to hire a 21-year-old kid, and we've made a mistake too. 21-year-old kid that lives at home with his parents, and you expect that kid to bang out for 80 hours a day or a week. Never gonna happen, guys. It's just never gonna happen. Doesn't matter how good looking the kid is, doesn't matter how ambitious the kid is, doesn't matter about any of that. If that kid has no reason to get out and hustle, he is not going to get out and hustle. So you need to find people who have reasons to do it. Hey man, I saw you guys were in, I'm in sales, or I've dreamed about being in sales. I work a forklift. I got to work 75 hours a week. I'm barely making it by. I got two kids at home. Man, I need something. I'm sick of working overnights. That's a dog. That's a dog. He's doing a week now for peanuts. And he's begging to find something just a little bit better. That's a guy that you would invest in my opinion. So that's kind of our approach, is just to be open, be loose with it. And then thankfully, with the branding that we've done the last 2 years, most of our candidates already know who we are. And then that's made it a lot easier for us as well. So like we get a lot of applicants anyway. To keep that going, yeah. I mean, recruiting is huge, but we're still learning. So I'm not an expert in the recruiting by any means, but I have found that transparency and happiness is what most people are chasing.
Okay. And it sounds like you have that transparency all the way through the interview process because you have good cop, bad cop
Yeah.
on the second round, kind of
Well,
going
we
through that.
did, yeah. But we hired a batch without doing the second interviews, and I wish I had all the analytics on both because man, it was night and day. It was just
Uh,
night and day.
Which one was better? The one where you did do the
The
second round of
first one where
interviews?
we did the 2 interviews and we did it, yeah, and people were telling us to do it too. Like it was stubbornness on our end. We tried to rush some things, and like I said, learning curves, man. We all make mistakes, so it was a big mistake, but hey, we'll bounce back.
Yeah. I mean, now you have that in your process, right? You can update it.
Yep.
Guys, by the way, if you have questions as we go along, drop them in the chat. But I have quite a few more, and we're running up on the hour now, so I want to be respectful of your time. But if you guys have questions, drop them in the chat. Elijah, got another thing for you. I know one thing you had mentioned, I don't think I've heard of this a lot before, but a six-owner business in the roofing industry. I feel like even having two owners, I had tried partners in my past life as an entrepreneur, it was hard to manage, right? So you guys grew big because you got a big team of people who you say are kind of owners in the business, right? Six owners, and you can all collaborate together. How do you get a group that large who are all owners, who are all decision makers, and make that a scalable organization? You know?
Well, when we find out, we'll let you know. So there's it's not rainbows and sunshine either here, man. It's
Okay.
not. We're doing good, but we could always be doing better. Communication for the most part is pretty locked in. All of us have been around for a little while. All of us have grown through this industry, and most have a knowledge in the industry. And then some of us are hands on, some of us aren't. That's the thing too. So like one of our owners, Jeff Semko, shout out Semko Law. If you guys break the law in Indiana, hit my boy up. He's one of the partners here, and Jeff is more of like a silent guy. He's not involved in the day-to-day operations, but he is the creator and founder of Romans. Like he started the whole thing. So he's kind of like not involved in day-to-day operations. And then we have areas where each of our guys performs in and are responsible for. And then we try as much as we can to meet up on a bi-weekly. That doesn't always work the way it should. We have two offices, Illinois and Indiana. So that's a little bit of a struggle. But we do I've got like 1,000 text threads with all of them going on, daily. So we're all in communications. We do family events together. We do Christmas parties together. Our kids are friends. All of us kick it. Everybody at Romans is pretty much hanging out with everybody at Romans outside of work anyway. So there's a lot of small conversations on the side that will basically substitute what you would call a business meeting. We might go to a Bears game and strike a deal up there. We could go, to a comedy show or go out and have a couple beers and strike a deal there. The golf course, whatever. So like whatever we're doing, we try to stay productive and work together as best as possible. It's not all like a lot of people hear six owners and then that's what the immediate thought process is like, man, that's got to be daunting. It is,
Yeah.
but anything in life worth the shit is daunting. So you got to put effort into it. It's like a relationship of being married to six chicks at the same time. It's tough.
Haven't
But
tried that one before.
yeah, well, I don't. I'm sure that that's tough, but at the end of the day, that's six different perspectives. That's six different views to help us. That's six different ideas. That you're going to cover things that you didn't even think possible because somebody thought differently at the table. Or once in a blue moon, all six of you align, and that's awesome when that happens. But yeah, we just like any other company through our growing pains. But at the end of the day, as long as the mission statement is the same, and as long as the end goal is the same, it's fine. It's just like expressways. I to people, everybody's got a destination spot. We all agree that's the destination spot. Doesn't mean that you have to go on the highway to get there. Some of you may not like toll roads. Some of you may want to splurge for the toll roads so you don't get stuck on the highway. There's going to be 8 different avenues to get there, but we're all going to the same goal. So that's the goal. That the goal is in sight. And sometimes you got to remind yourself. You can be like, man, I'm really frustrated, but this is why, like, at least it's trending in that direction. Or, you know, maybe 3 or 4 owners gang up on one or two of them. Like it happens. Like, it's, hey man, we can't do that this way. Like, it is what it is. And some of the owners that were owners of other businesses too. So it's really hard when you try to somebody, if you've never owned a business and somebody else has owned a business, to try to tell them like, man, I believe this philosophy will work. And then they're, well, I tried this then, and whatever. So like we do, just like everybody else, it's not rainbows. We do deal with a lot of stuff outside the table, but most of us are adults. We understand that Romans needs to get to the next level for us to get there. So how do we do that together?
Okay, so having that aligned kind of mission, vision, values,
100%.
even there's going to be disagreements. Okay, so it's not all sunshine and rainbows.
No, not even
Uh,
close, man. Not even close. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Not even close.
yeah, so it's a relationship like any other. You got to kind of
Yep.
work on it.
Yeah.
It looks like we got a few questions in the chat. I'll get Michael Jordan down here. Mike said, you talked about operations structure and culture of a company, which is great. What are the keys to bring in? Okay, so we're going into kind of lead generation here, which I think will lead into your other topic, Elijah. But what are the keys to bring in high quality appointments for Romans Roofing?
Well, so we believe in the philosophy of working smarter, not harder. So Mike Goldstein and Adam Cruz got this awesome thing called Roofle. If you don't have Roofle on your website, you should have Roofle on your website. Talking about 90 seconds for like 9 estimates, or 60 seconds for 9 estimates or something. That's a great product. Number two, it's efficiency with your ads. So a lot of companies are coming out and they want to, have you had hail damage in this area? Click here. Here's your free inspection. Like, and that works to an extent, but it's only going to get you so far. What they're missing is grabbing attention. So your content needs to be attention grabbing and then chased with free stuff, free information. And again, people are going to like this response, but I'm going to be real with you. If you want to double down your client base, you need to teach your client base how not to use you. You need to teach your homeowners how not to get scammed by roofers, how not to fall for stupid tactics, how what to watch out for when they a claim out, what to watch out for contractors when it comes to manipulation, how to understand their scopes, how to read their estimates. A lot of people don't want to feed their customers that, but I'm telling you right now, we know how hard it is to do this. We know. So the 1% rule is still real for them too. You can teach all the homeowners in the world how to do this. None of them are going to, most of them, and the ones that do it, they're going to find themselves stuck somewhere in the process. And then guess what? They're going to call you because you're the one that got them that far to begin with. They now subliminally believe you to be an expert. And then you come back out and you deliver it. So I think that sending out the right content, letting people know that you're going to educate them beyond just asking for their business. You're going to teach them how to do this on their own. You're going to teach them what to watch out for and explain the process to them. And then when it comes down to ask for business, then you ask for it. You need to give stuff first to gain the trust of the people before you can turn around and ask for business. Or you could just do the SEO thing, funnel in a bunch of stuff, traffic into your website, have them click on Roofle and try to run with that. There's also lead sales generation. There's lead companies that you could call up. That's hit or miss. Some of them are good, some of them aren't. Same with the SEOs. But a lot of your stuff is going to be done on the back end of your marketing. If you're looking for a quick turnover, we do have some ads that we put up that we ask for business now in year 3. But I'll be honest with you, when we did this in year 1, we weren't doing what we're doing now. I might have gotten 10 a week. I think that the last time we checked, we were getting about 60 to 70 retail leads a week off of Facebook, about 10 to 25 storm leads off of Facebook, and then 20 to 30 off of Roofle through the SEO through Google. So on a bad week, we're about 60 leads. But that comes again with 2 years of giving away. We have pamphlets that teach everybody about what to expect when you're getting a new roof for free. We sent pamphlets out on how to yourself through the entire claims process. We have shown them what to watch out for. For storm chasers, we've shown them, how roofers will pretend are not used, flip over for underlayment. They'll take 3-tab shingles on top of ridges. They'll disguise, not to use their names on here or not, but they'll disguise a brand of a shingle, but just call it that. So like GAF shingle, but they don't specify, is it HDZ? Is it one of the other ones? Is it natural shadow? Like they don't specify that. So it's finding again, transparency with the homeowner and letting them know, like, this is what you need to watch out for. And then what'll happen is when those bad companies come, they know what to watch out for, and then they send them packing and they call you. So it's a long-term game. Short answer for that, outside of run a shit ton of money behind your ads on Facebook asking for business. You could do it that way. If you want to do it the right way, you'll take the time to brand yourself. Marketing and branding is different, guys. Real quick. Marketing and branding. Marketing is what you tell people you are. Branding is what they say about you when you're not around. Both are very important. So you need to walk a thin line with them and understand both of them. Branding is just as important as marketing is, if not more important. So it's not always an ROI on money, guys. It is not always about what you're getting back. More about what you're investing in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more. Like with our clients that convert the best to appointment and to sale, their brand has been built long before we even came in and started doing direct response. So
Was it is that Isabel said, "What's the most brutal kick in the teeth moment you faced personally in sales?" It's, oh man, what's the exact practical lesson you pulled from that? So when I left my first company, it was in 2019. I loved my company, and just so everybody knows, one of my business partners now was the owner of that company that I worked at originally. So when I worked there, I was a top sales rep. I performed really well at my job. I did not have the right mindset. I was very aggressive, very hot-headed. Just not a. I wasn't a good time. And when I decided that I wanted to start doing that, I had built an image for myself that I could not escape. I was known to be a hothead. I was screwed. So I realized that there was no growth for me at that company. So when I bought my first house, I actually got handed the keys at 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Tuesday, and by 4:30, I quit my job and walked out of it for two reasons. One, I needed to go and grow. Two, I needed the pressure on me when I was to go to a new sales position with no salary. I needed to know that I had to have a hustle. So that was the biggest teeth kick in the moment of my entire life because I left over $80,000 of commission on the table. Not $80,000 in sales, $80,000 of coming to me commission on the table. And in my opinion, that's the coolest thing I've ever done in my entire life. It doesn't matter how much money I make. I'm always going to be like, man, remember that time when I didn't have shit and I walked away from 80 G's? That sent a message to everybody. To me, that sent a message like I can't be bought. At that point in time, I'm doubling down on myself. I know my value and I know what I can make. I left at $153,000. I thought that, man, I don't know if I'm making a mistake, but this is where I'm at. That's what I made that year. I went on the next year to make more money. I went on even with nothing, leaving on the table, and it became laughable. I had an amazing year the following year, but I didn't burn bridges, and me and that guy are partners now.
dang, that's a baller
So
move.
that was my lesson from that: is to pull my head out of my ass, be a man, and handle my business, and then go and learn it the right way. And I did.
And that was to
Cost
escape that hothead kind of
Yeah, it
persona
was
you.
my fault. It was
Yeah.
my fault. If you'd asked me 5 years ago, I would have blamed him. I would have blamed him and I would have blamed that company. Nope, 100% my fault. Same with why I didn't get on the stage. My first time speaking was in Louisville, and I used to cry and complain all the time that nobody wanted me to come out, nobody wanted me to speak because I didn't earn it. I didn't earn it yet. I didn't get back. That's my fault.
Dang.
Says you for collaborating with contractors to clean up the industry. How do you vet potential collaborators to ensure genuine? So I'm lucky again in my. I've been working my network 10 years now exclusively. I have knocked in Texas. I've knocked in Wisconsin. I've signed contracts in Indianapolis. I've signed them in Austin, Texas, Pflugerville, Texas. Like I've been around some places. Illinois. I was a licensed public adjuster at one point in time in Illinois. So I have friends that are in this industry that I know are doing things right. So those are the first people that I'm going to collab with. Outside of them, then yes, you need to how you would do that is you go and sit down and talk to them. We are good people readers. Most of us read people well because of what we do for a living. You have to kind of gauge if a customer's interested or not, whatever. So you know if when people are doing good things and when they're doing, not so good things. If they've been around for 1 year and they all got brand new Raptor trucks outside and it's fully wrapped, I'd step away from them. Clearly they don't know what money management is. If every homeowner you've ever talked to throws the same usual suspects out on Facebook or Nextdoor app, stay away from this company, don't use them. Well, if it quacks like a duck, like it is what it is. So like move away from them. Look at Google reviews. Dial in on that. Say, hey man, how is your Google reviews? And I need people to understand because we're going to get into that real quick. But with collaboration, I'm not asking for money. So you need to understand that too. You don't need to vet these people to their core. You need to say, hey man, this is what our mission is. Or can you get down with this? You have to be friends with them. That's the thing. Like what I'm about to do and what I'm working on doing right now with Romans, I'm not friends with some of these guys, but we're still going to do it together because it means more in the end. And it's about getting people to buy into the bigger picture sometimes. Not everybody's going to align with everybody. As I just said, I got 6 owners. I fight with them every day. We're not all going to align with each other. It's not. Never, ever going to happen. But if people can buy into the big picture, then you're good. So that's all you're really trying to do. Just hey, don't work with shady people, and you know who the shady ones are already. Stay away from them. and invite the other ones. Because what I'm trying to do, essentially, whoever you invite into that, it's just going to be them. It's going to be you and them and the homeowners. And I can explain that later, but that's all it's going to be.
And I thought it's kind of a good time to loop into. You were talking about building that united front earlier, right? And I think that's something that people are super excited to hear about. Can you hear me okay, by the way? My
Yeah,
headphones
I
seem to
can.
be
I
clunking
was
out.
trying to
Okay.
read. Yeah, I was trying to read some of
No
them.
worries. Some of the chat.
Yeah.
No worries. That's but yeah, so you had talked about like kind of building that united front on your Facebook Live earlier today. Do you mind just sharing a bit about that, like how you're executing that for the people who haven't seen that yet? Because I feel a lot of people on here have not.
All right. Yeah. So this is came up with a little while ago. And it was spun off of another idea that someone had brought up to us. And I'm not going to give away the big one because that gonna have to wait and see what happens with that because nobody's doing it. But what I said today on Facebook Live was I invited people to understand my collaboration because some people are like, "Oh, that guy, he don't collaborate. He don't know what the hell he's talking about." Whatever. I'm going to explain to you my thought process, and it's okay if you don't agree. This is what I think. So I told everybody that there's a way to increase. We're talking six, seven figures into your income yearly as a company without doing anything different than what you're doing right now. You don't spend any more money than what you're doing right now. Now, if you're a company that doesn't market, you got bigger problems than that. And I'll explain why. Because if someone's in this idea and you don't market, you'll get wiped out. I believe that if you are in a market, and we're going to use actually, I have my paper from earlier. Use this, for example, just for everybody to understand real quick on the call. Say you do $10 million. It's okay if you don't. These are figurative numbers. Say you do $10 million. The company next to you in the same town you're in does 20 million, and the company down the street, they do 30 million. And you're sitting there, and most roofers will be competing against each other. I have an idea that I believe that if we stood united, meaning that if the money you spent ads, say you spend $5,000 on marketing, all three of you spend 5,000, which you should be spending more, but you spend 5,000, you guys could run a $15,000 ad campaign together without ever asking for a dime from each other on the money you were already spending using your own teams. You could have your own marketers, all three of them in the same room together, filming all three of you. And you guys stand on a united front. And again, this is just off the top of my head. Hey, I'm Elijah from Romans Roofing. I stand here by so and so roofing. I stand here by so and so roofing. We're united, letting you, the homeowners of Northwest Indiana, know that we're taking care of our clients the right way. We too are fed up with all the door knocking, all the unsolicited, unwanted companies traveling here into this area after you've been affected by a storm. It hurts our image as well. So now we're making a stand for that. I cannot vouch for everybody else in the industry, but I can tell you right now in Northwest Indiana, us, also residents of Northwest Indiana, we stand with you through the storms and beyond. If you're using one of us, you're being care of. If you're not using one of us, that is a cause to concern because we have been here. This is our mission statement. These are the products that we provide, and we feel that between the three of us, we can handle any situation thrown at us. Then what you have to do is every time you knock a door and you hear someone say, "Oh, I'm using so and so," if they're in your network, you tell them that's great. That's awesome. Here's my card. They're one of the best out here, and I'm glad you're actually being taken care of. A lot of the homeowners, they're not in this area. Speaking of, if you should have anybody else in your family or any of your friends that might be interested, please give them my card. As for that company, you're in good hands, and I can't wait to see the final product. No one has done that to them. No one has. They think you're all used car salesmen anyway. So stand together and unite. And I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. You're so worried about the third company going from 30 to 40 million dollars. But if you stood united with them for 1 year and you made these ads and you ran them all through Northwest Indiana, that means Northwest Indiana after a storm, they're only going to three guys. So what the hell do you care if the $30 million company goes to 40, the 20 goes to 30, and guess what? You go to 20. You all increased. Every one of you increased your revenue. You can still compete against each other. You can still have fun with each other. You don't have to be scumbags though. That's the difference. But pool more of customers for just you, where we all just get to pick out of the same pool. Some of us are going to feast more than others. Yeah, that's because we have better reputations. We're better salesmen. But we're going to eliminate all the bums. We're going to get all the other speed bumps out of the way. So it's just us doing that. Then it goes a little deeper if you do start working together, because let's say like I'll use Lake County Fair for an example. If you're not from Indiana, it's a big fair that comes here. The fair comes and Roman's Roofing is going to set up a $5,000 tent. And what we want to do, and we're going to give away free water to all the people who come in there. And that's just our idea. Well, now the two companies that you did that with, now you do a $15,000 tent. One of you gives away ice cream, one of you gives away prizes for the kids, one of you gives away water and a hot dog. Now you tell everybody at the event, we stand together, you Northwest Indiana residents. I just want to let you guys know that no child will leave the fair without a prize, that no child will leave without ice cream, that no one here will have to spend all the extra money on their hot dogs, because we got that for you. Come visit our booth. Let me show you some of the cool products that we got going on here. Let's shake some hands and let's have a little bit of fun. Bring some games out for the kids and stuff. Like, make it family oriented. Start networking together. And it doesn't cost anything. There are tons of platforms trying to do this right now, but they're charging you money. The PE acquisitions, the platforms, the whole thing. The concept's awesome, but at the end of the day, it comes down to money. This doesn't involve money. I'm not going to pay any contractor to do anything with me. You're either with me or you're not. And then we just move on. In fact, what I'm doing is I'm footing the bill for the first one. My marketing team is going to shoot the videos. I'm not even charge them. I have someone who's going to be doing it with me soon. Not even going to charge them. We're going to run it out there and see what the feel is for it. But I'm telling you guys, if you work together, we can eliminate some of the nonsense that's going on in the industry. And I know you guys know what I'm talking about, but we can get rid of all of that and clean the image, at least where you operate at. So at the very least, your neighborhood is clean. And then guess what happens, dude? A storm comes in and you guys been working together for 2 years, that's lights out. I hope you're ready to have the biggest year you've ever had in your entire life. And it's simply done by working together instead of working against each other. And that's just my thought process in it.
Well, I feel like that's much more powerful than you saying, "Hey, I'm a really good contractor." You have other contractors now vouching for you, experts in the field, and if you've been doing that for 2 years and you've had the county fairs, right? I feel like that can only lead to one thing, and
Yeah.
that's them ignoring the
Yeah,
people who
and I
aren't
was
going to be
just
good.
throwing the
And
fair out there. Like, you could do many other things, any event that you're doing, you could maximize it. You give away a veteran roof, maybe you're doing 3 veteran roofs on the same neighborhood. I don't know what people do out there, but I hope giving back. As human beings, we should be giving back, let alone companies. Companies should always be giving in the community, but as human beings, you should be giving back. Karma is real, and it skips no one.
yeah, dang. Okay. Well, that's my last question, Eliza. I was excited for everybody to get that strategy. I think it's a fantastic one. I think it's gonna get a lot of the not favorable roofers out. But I do want to open up one last time, guys, for Q&A. Before we call it wraps here, I also want to open up final comments for you, Elijah, and I have one final question. So I guess that wasn't my last question. But guys, last call for Q&A. Any questions for Eliza on all the stuff we covered today? I feel like my brain's pulsing from all the information I just took in. So any cues? While people are dropping questions in the chat, Elijah, I did have a question for you that I like to ask, and that's if people want to learn more about what Elijah does, right? The things that you're doing, keep up to date with even this process that you're executing. What's the best way for them to do that?
So the Roof Trolls podcast is awesome. It's also fun. We do nuggets here and there in those episodes, but I've had a lot of really big guests, a lot of cool roofers doing some amazing things that people just may not know about. So Roof Trolls is one of them for sure. That's Trolls with a Z at the end. We're anywhere podcasts are played, YouTube, and we have a Facebook page. And then you can always, like I said, my LinkedIn, my Instagram, and my Facebook, you can always find me, Elijah Muhm. We have a Romans Roofing TikTok account. Our Romans Roofing Facebook page is always on fire. And then if you want to really dial in on a more personal and learn map out stuff, I travel, like I said, with Roof Camp with Jay Bradley, Reggie Brock, and them. And we're doing some big things here. Actually, Birmingham, Alabama on the 17th. We'll be out there. And then there's some big plans for next year for that event. And those are for sales reps. And then, yeah, man, I'm at most events. I try to put my face out there as often as I can. And yeah, I'll accept any friend requests or anything if anybody wants to follow along my content ideas. I love that shit, man. That's what we should be doing. We should be robbing content from each other and making it better and putting it out there. So that's how you stand united. So work together. It's in a book, guys. Come and take the ideas.
It's freaking awesome, man. I'm gonna drop your the Roof Trolls site in the chat for people real quick, just in case they can't find it. Um,
Isabel said, what's one of the biggest mistakes you see roofers make on their Facebook ads that kills their lead flow? Dude, I made a big mistake recently. So one of them is a lot of people like to showcase their builds, and a lot of roofers that are doing builds don't like to wear harnesses. Protect yourself now in your pocketbook with that. So if you're putting up videos and there's no harnesses, believe me when I tell you that there's nobody more petty than a competitive roofer. So that you're always one phone call away from OSHA from taxing that wallet. So that's one thing. But the other thing is, you know what I hate? I hate the term, and it's not really roofers doing it, but some of them maximizing claims. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. You're literally telling homeowners that all getting the most bang for your buck. Stop doing that. Like stop doing that. And then yeah, let me I don't know. Anything that breathes commission, anything that smells commission, don't do it. So like, I took care of this homeowner, and you're sitting in front of a. I've seen sales do it. I've seen them at events do. They scan, and you're laying on a McLaren or a Ferrari. You got a Lamborghini. That's cool, man. Hey, that's a great flex, and obviously you're making good money. Budgeting it well. That's awesome, dude. Homeowners don't want to see that. I'm telling you right now, they don't want to see that. You need to humble yourselves. Don't go on there with your ads. None of that. Unless you're appealing to other reps. Now there are some companies that put out those massive checks. That's awesome. But those companies also want people to apply there. That's why they're doing that. They want sales reps to be like, dude, I got to work there. You see that check he made? That's different. But in a roofing ad, make sure people are strapped on and going on. And then if there's not, just be open and honest with people. Be real with them that why they need to use you and what separates you from the rest of them. What type of experience are you going to deliver for them? But just make sure that, again, I got an emphasis on it. Don't use terms like maximize claim, and yeah, just be open, dude. People like you being honest with them. We tell people, I respond to people all the time on our Facebook, and they'll say, well, this company came in at a cheaper estimate than I did. Okay, well, I hope they do a really good job. I don't know what you want me to say to that. I'm not going to race to the bottom for anybody. I tell people all the time, we are going to be more expensive than other people. We take that. My budget, our craftsmanship is how we base our prices, not your budget. So you could be open with people with that too. Like I want to be open in 2 years from now. You're not a bad person for that, but just be careful with the thin line with them seeing how much money you're making off this, because it won't matter if you genuinely help them or not. That's all they'll remember from those videos. So just be careful about what's in the background and where you're shooting it at. Rolex off when you make a video asking for business.
so not trying to like flex wealth when we're doing
Yeah,
customer facing
a lot
videos,
of them do it,
basically.
dude. A
Yeah.
lot of them will stand there in suits. This is why you should use it. Okay, well, I can tell you right now, most of them aren't going to use you, boss. Like they don't want to see that. You're already making good money to them. That's how they look at it. So, unless you're well established or that's like your gimmick, because some of them out here that is our gimmick. So like if that's your gimmick, then I get it, man. But just be real with people.
Yeah. Being authentic, not trying to show the shallow, but actually what's underneath. Hey, these are the things you should look out for.
Yep.
So
Agreed 100%. Also,
thanks.
Angelo, I will not be giving these headphones back. Thanks, though.
That's what I was gonna ask, Angela is pretty adamant down there in the chat.
Yeah.
Is that one of your team members?
Yeah, he is. He's actually
Okay.
he's one of my partners. He's one of the owners over here at Romans.
Cool. Hey, Angela.
Yeah, he said if you had to pick one thing to tell her that you learned as an owner, what would it be? Oh man, one thing. There's more to this than money. That's the one thing. There's more to owning a business. There's more to growing. There's more to development. There's more to processes. There's more to generating leads. There's more to sales. There's more to life than just money. If you chase just money, if that's your sole purpose, you have already, in my opinion. Like it has to, at some point in time, it has to come down to something that's more important than money. Be real with yourself and stop chasing money. That would
Yeah.
be my advice.
I mean, the root of all evil is the love of money, not having money, but obsessing over it. So, what are the
Yes.
things you,
Go ahead.
what are the things you kind of value outside of money?
My man. So like my daughter. I mean, everybody says that. My daughter is like the love of my life. I only have one kid, so he is like that's daddy's princess. Anything that I could do to make her life easier when I'm gone is what I'm gonna do. So my whole, the day we had her, everything changes. My life is no longer about me, and it hasn't been for a time. Her mother even comes above me. I like to think that every decision I make, The first factor is Aria, my daughter. The second factor is Amanda, my fiance, and then the third person would be me. So even if it benefits me and doesn't benefit them, that's a decision that I can't make. So no matter what, I think that those would come down there. And then it's going to sound stupid, but dogs. I think dogs are the most beautiful creatures on the earth ever, and it's the only creature that loves you more than they love themselves. The only ones. So I think there's something beautiful about them. I have three of them. I love dogs. Like I love them. I think they're amazing. But outside, I just kick it. I'd like to be stress free outside of work. I think that's important. But as far as like what motivates me, it's my family, my dogs, and then that's basically it. I bought a big and full disclosure for the last 2 years, I've been thinking about selling the big house because it's too big. I don't need it. I just don't. It's more important to me to do other things. My biggest flex to date, even Romans, it's the amount of money I've been able to put in my daughter's fund up to this point. That's my biggest flex in life. So I think that she is like my end all be all. So that's the most important person and anything in my life is that's my most important title as a father. Like that's who I am. That defines me.
Yeah, I mean, it's a super strong why. Like you were
Yeah.
saying earlier, finding people with strong whys.
Yeah. I am a
But
horror fan too, as Angela alluded to. Uh, love horror movies. Yeah.
yeah, pull him back up again. I couldn't even see
Uh,
him.
so I have everything. You have Silent Night, Deadly Night. I got Risk Shrine,
Yeah,
the classic, him as a kid. I got Puzzle Box. I got Gremlins, Maniac Cop, Freddy, Michael, Jason. I got all of it.
that's
I
crazy. Did you
even
just leave all at once, or is it like progressive that you built those all
pro
in?
progressive. Actually, me and Angelo go to the same tattoo artist. But yeah, I waited until I was 27 to get a tattoo, and then I did it again 5 years to start at it again. But so addicting, man. I wish it wasn't as addicting as it is, but it is addicting. No, no, you have my word. No face, no neck, no hands. I will not do anything on there, but everything else, let's go.
Tatting it up.
Yeah, colored up.
All I got right now is just fur that I move around in patterns, but working on
there, there you go.
that.
Take a razor and start putting designs in it. You'll be all right.
Exactly. I'm gonna go get it right now, you know. But
That's awesome.
cool, man. No, this is an awesome session, man. I'm actually like a lot of this I'm gonna take to heart. Like there's some things that I'm not currently doing. Like I feel like I need to be more transparent with my team now. Like, hey, this is what's going on in the back end operations. Every single dollar, this is where it's going. Because I don't do that right now. Just being transparent there. So
Look at these
I feel like
questions in here. No, oh
we got
no,
some more. Oh,
yeah,
I was
yeah.
missing them all.
There, it's all the idiots I work
Pokemon.
with. That's Kevin on the bottom there. Like you're always late to the gym. How do you justify this? Yeah.
What's your
He's
favorite Pokemon? I think that's an important one.
Gengar actually, and
Gengar.
let me
Okay.
let me show you this real quick. Oh, I got you on here. I just got my Gengar. I'm gonna mess up here, but I got my Gengar tattoo.
Oh, it's freaking dope.
Yeah. So I just got that a couple weeks ago. But yes, I am a diehard Pokemon fan as well. And we do collect Pokemon. Actually, I had a podcast recently with Reliance Restoration out of Valparaiso, Indiana. One of my competitors. We had them on, and we actually opened up Pokemon live on the podcast, which was cool. We opened up three ETB boxes, and I pulled a Clefairy out of there from one of the Journey Together boxes. No big deal. No big deal. But yeah, so that was cool. Right before I got on here too, before we end this, but yeah, right before I got on here, I went there and grabbed a few cards for my daughter. So I had some
Dope.
Charizard ones. These are some cheaper ones, but I like them. My daughter collects Eevee, so I picked up this one for her. Send that in to go get graded there. But yeah, so she's into it too. She's Snorlax, Eevee, and Pikachu, and I am Gengar and Charizard. We collect now. Yeah.
I'm a big
That's all.
Charmander Salamence guy. But in the cards, there's not a lot of like
Oh,
Salamence cards that are cool,
dude,
in
that
my
new
opinion.
Salamence, that new one is Eddie is actually on this thing right now. He pulled it, him and that card is so cool.
Hold
Full
up, I
art
gotta Google it.
Salamence, it's awesome. He's the one that put on their Pokemon. Yeah, he put like
Are you talking about the VMAX one? I haven't seen
no
like,
the no the Journey Together full art. Oh, it's here. Yeah, Eddie's in my office right now, so he just brought it
oh, that's freaking dope.
full art, dude. That thing is crazy. That's a $90 raw card. Like
Dang,
ungraded. Yes, that's a banger.
crispy as hell. My
Yes, sir.
nicest card, I gave all my cards away like an idiot when I was younger, but
I wasn't
but
into it
that is
when I was
cool.
younger. My daughter pulled me in it, and these guys, I work with a bunch of people who are obsessed with it. So then they loop me into it, and I'm a collector by nature. That's why I didn't want to get into it. And yeah, here I am, hundreds of dollars later, buying Pokemon. So,
You got to get in the video games. They're free to catch, you know?
oh, I'm into video games too. We play Warzone, Call of Duty,
Okay.
almost nightly if I get a chance to. Sometimes we don't, but most of the times we do.
Solid game too. I typically just do straight gun game and just pray I don't get murked by all the pros out there.
Yeah. Yeah, video games are an escape, man. That's like a find a way to get, peace.
Yeah. End of the day, you take that, it kind of helps you decompress and get prepared for some like good rest
Yes,
and
sir.
hopefully not get sucked in until 2 a.m.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Awesome, brother. Cool. Um, yeah, man. I'm trying to pull up a Charmander card right now. This is my nicest card right now. It's literally 16 bucks, nothing great. But it reminds me of my girlfriend. She's like a
Oh, I
fiery
love that.
redhead. Yeah, so
Hell
that's
yeah.
like, yeah, that's me. I'll be like hiding. I'm a little Pidgey outside, but
That's amazing. That was her when you bought the pack of the Pokemon. Yeah.
yeah, probably.
Yeah.
She didn't seem too salty about it. It was like $2 when I got it. I seen the latest sale was like 50. So call me an
Yeah.
investor.
My
Uh,
fiance is the worst, bro, because she wants me to spend money. She's like, well, you work for it. You go ahead and you do it. Stop saying that. Stop saying that. You need to yell at me. Reel it
Gonna
in.
take a mortgage on the home for Pokemon cards.
Damn. At the rate they keep bringing packs out and stuff are like these new like alterations that they have. This Black and White's out now, and then Destined Rivals out, and then next year is the 30th anniversary. Like, dude, they're giving us too much now.
I mean, they're definitely milking it, and I don't blame them at all. You
Oh
know?
no, yeah, it's the hottest thing out there right now,
Yeah.
100%. Crazy.
But I go find my card now. I'm not in my house, but
Right
next
on.
time we're on a call, I'll show you.
He said Dollar Tree had some Destined Rivals. There you go, Sean.
I didn't even know they carried that. I just go to Target and the shelves are always empty now. Yeah, I can't get anything. I found
Oh,
Barnes and Noble is like the only spot where you can really pick anything up because
I
people don't
got
know it's
lucky
there.
recently. The GameStop by my house is the number one Pokemon GameStop in Northwest Indiana now. They put in a bunch of shelves, like they're gonna be selling graded cards and everything in there. I just sent off to PSA. I sent off 21 cards last week, so got a lot of them coming back. We'll see.
It's freaking awesome. I've never graded any of my cards,
Me either. Me
but
either. And I'm excited about it. I'm like, man, this is so cool. Me and Aria pull them together. So like, giving my daughter a card that we pulled together, and then we get the grade. That's so cool.
yeah, I'll help you get all tens, brother.
Yeah, well,
Just
I
21
I
PSA
won't, but
10s.
but I appreciate that. If I do, then I'll definitely tell you about it for sure. Angelo,
Angelo said,
Steve,
please
yeah,
talk about Pokemon more, I think.
yeah, that's what I
Uh,
think he said too.
that's what I heard.
Oh, he's selfish. I
Uh,
wish I could bring the camera into his office. He's got like 15 ETB sealed on the top of his thing. Most greedy person I've ever seen in my life. I tried to buy his Charizard 151 off him, and he wanted to charge me for 240. It was an anniversary gift. Amanda was like allowing me to get one for our anniversary, 240. And I found it for 189 on GameStop. And I showed him it, and then he refused to sell it to me. Now he just refused. He said 240. I said I can get it for 180 right here, and then I just gotta wait for it. Like I'll just give you the take it now. Nope, nope. And dude, that card's just steady on the decline, and he's holding on to it now. That's who Angelo is. That's the person he's become.
Angelo, what do you
It
have to say for yourself?
it was for 200. I'm a pro member. He just ignores the pro member thing. I'm a pro member. I get $10 off. It's for 189.99.
What's the membership cost for GameStop?
For the whole year, I think it's like I don't even know. It's like $25 for the entire year.
It's not bad.
No, and
You
you
buy
get
like
you
three
get a bunch
cards,
of
you're
stuff
set.
off of it. I'm in there every Pokemon card, so it pays for itself. But even if you were to go 3 or 4 times a year, it's still smart to do.
Yeah. I didn't even know GameStop sold that. I haven't been in a GameStop probably like 5 years.
Yeah, they're not even, dude. It's like their primary now is Pokemon. The secondary is video games. That's like where it shifted at. But that's everywhere, dude. Costco, Myers, Walmart, Target. None of them can keep them on the shelves. We just walked
That's
down
wild.
card shop. That's why I have these because they didn't have any packs. The card shop down there is they do the markets instead of retail. But yeah, we always fiend open packs all day long. Think about them
So
all day.
you had to like way overpay for it basically.
Yeah, you just like wait. Yep. Oh man, Elijah's the wind beneath Roman's roofing. He's so stupid. Well, I don't think we have any more serious questions coming in. So
Alrighty. I think we'll call it a day there then. I'm only gonna clip the Pokemon card talk for our marketing posts. That's all I'm sending you. I'm just
Okay.
kidding.
Hey, I'm down with
We'll get all
that.
of it. But no,
Right on.
Elijah, I appreciate having you on today, man. I was super stoked. Everybody, we had, I think, highest registration count ever for this. So
Hell
um,
yeah. That's what I like
appreciate
to
you hopping
hear.
on.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
record setting. I think it was 67 peeps.
Hell
So
yeah.
yeah, keep
Cool.
71. There we go.
All right. 71.
71.
Hey, I'll take
Yeah.
it. I'll take
Y-
it.
People love to see you, man. So I'll think again on sometime. Obviously, if you're up 73. Sorry. There we
73.
go.
All
But
right.
anyway, man. Well, I appreciate having you on,
Yeah,
guys. If
I'm
you want to
always
check out,
down, bro. If you want to do anything in the future, I'm always down.
I want to start doing in-persons, but you told me how much it costs, so I might have to wait a little bit.
Yeah, it's not
As
cheap.
soon as I can, I would love to. Especially, I'm gonna stick in Baltimore probably another year or two, so I'll build out like a little studio and try to do it
Right on.
um cost effectively. But yeah, I appreciate
Yeah.
having you on, guys. Check out Elijah on the Roof Trolls. And then for all of you that are still on here, appreciate you sticking around and hope you got something out of this today. I know I did. But yeah, man, I'll let you get back to opening Pokemon
Yeah.
cards and we'll chat a little bit after. I'll shoot you a text.
Yeah, shout out to Roman's Roofing Team and Reven Spark Raw Media, the best media team out there. And I see all my squad on there: Jim, Frank, Eddie, Ashley, Willie, Angelo. If I'm missing somebody else, love all you guys. Sean was in here earlier. Much love, appreciate you guys. Thank you. And yeah, dude, I'll see you on the next one.
So yeah.